Right.
Cool.
Thanks for
Good to see
joining
you,
me.
man.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
check this out.
hey, I heard about that show.
2.5 years ago now. What the fuck?
I know, right? It's not fair. Time goes faster the older we get. It should be the other way around,
Hmm. Yeah. Fuck, I'm not
right?
kidding. We ran into our son's like childhood friend at the shops yesterday, and he's there with his missus and kids, and I'm like,
I know, right? It's like, wait a minute, I'm going to be 65 at the end of this month. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, no,
how
that's
did that
not
happen?
exactly. But the thing is I still get to do this, which is great. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, there you go.
Up here, we're still 18, mate. That's the thing.
I stopped about 24, I think. 24 is kind of seems where, okay, everything, I don't really, other than physically, you
Yeah.
know, inside I feel great. So,
Yeah, let's talk about physically because you were laboring a bit back
oh
then
boy.
with your back, and
Yep.
you were going to take some time off and get that sorted out. What
Yep.
happened?
Well, it's getting sorted out now. It's a process. I actually finally found a good recommendation of a sports medicine guy over in Phoenix. And
Right.
because I live in Joshua Tree, Southern California, so it's like 4 hours away, and we were over there rehearsing, and because Ken and Dave Ellison all live over in Phoenix, so
Hmm.
we decided to rehearse over there. There was a studio, and I got recommended a doctor over there, and I went to one treatment, and I'm already feeling a lot better. I started doing a lot of stuff on my own, just taking some time off after the last show. That was actually our last show
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that lineup. So, yeah, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. I had a spinal stenosis. Well, still have it, but I'm fighting it. And in the process of all that, this doctor finally, somebody who knew what they were doing, all my muscles, all over from my neck down to my feet, are all in knots from trying to hold myself up when I'm all crooked. So my
Hmm.
muscles were all like, so that's why it's so hard for me to stand up for any length of time.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm going every week now, and he's just just reefing on me, just getting my muscles loosened up. It's painful, but it's kind of like it hurts like a mother, but you're going, oh yeah, your body somehow knows that's what it needs.
Yeah.
So I'm getting all of the knot. I'm just one big knot. So I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot better now. So I'm
Yeah.
doing much
Okay.
better.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not playing the lightest guitar. I mean, you're playing a Les Paul.
No,
That's like
no.
carrying a tree.
Well, see,
Um,
that doesn't help. Yeah, it's
no.
just like, but I can't every time if I play anything else, I feel like I'm playing a toy. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Okay.
know, but no, actually, I'm doing much better, and I'm gonna before we really start touring here at the end of next month. Yeah, I should be in pretty good shape. I finally found somebody who knows what they're doing, rather than because I've had a lot of bad advice from chiropractors and other doctors and stuff over the past 15, 20 years. Which never helped anything. So it just
No.
actually sometimes made it worse. So taking some time off and then doing some things that I know to do. But yeah, it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. I am very, very happy to say that. So
Yeah. Good. Because
yeah.
it did look like you were struggling.
Oh, it's yeah. I mean, so many people have back issues now because we sit all the time, and that's what it's from. We all sit in front of
Yeah.
a computer all the time, and then I'm in the studio sitting again. So it's like it's amazing. I could stand. Anybody could stand up at all. So anyway, but enough of the old man stuff, right? Yeah, guy, yeah, hell bent for leather. Yeah,
Shouldn't make fun of that. Anyway, now no one's going to let me rest if I don't ask you. Old lineup, new lineup, what
right. Oh
happened?
yeah. How did the new line? Well, I shut the band down after we got back from that show in Australia. Things got ugly, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is stupid. Stet quit. And just it was just like this is miserable. Everybody was unhappy, so I just like I'm done. So I shut it down. So it was about almost 2 years, and in the process, I was still doing my stuff with Rat Pack, but the Rat Pack had dropped the band, and they were done with us too. And So there was just a lot of crap going on internally. But I still was doing like Presto and, Hall of Flame, my other projects and stuff. And in the process, he was he got our friend Todd Latore from Queensryche had a
Yep.
friend, and he was working with this guy, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, unsolicited, I get two MP3s of Start the Fire and In Morning, a David Wayne song and a Mike House song. I didn't know what it was, and just sent it to me. Didn't tell me anything about it, and it blew my mind. It was like, is this an unreleased like David Wayne track version of this that I haven't heard?
Mhm.
And then I listened to In Morning, and it was like, wow, who is this? Brian Allen.
Mm.
Brian, a friend of Todd's. Todd had been on him like, do this, do that. Send him a demo, and he finally did it. And I was like, wow. So at that point, I was like, well, if I ever do decide to do Metal Church again, this would be a great singer.
Mm.
And then within a couple of weeks after that, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I did hear the first tracks of the new album, it was one of those double take things.
Yeah.
You're like, hang on, what the fuck? It has that. It has that. The one of the I saw an interview with one of the guys from Journey when they got Arnold, and they said
Oh,
it
right.
has that legacy sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I think you've cracked on here, because you hear it for the first time, you think, hang on, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Exactly. And so, a couple weeks after that, Rat Pack had put out the Ellefson Soto project. So he was in touch with Dave and working with them on that. And Dave extended to Joe, said, hey, if Kurdt puts Metal Church back together, I'd really be interested in doing that. And then so Joe calls me up and says, hey, Ellefson would love to do this. And I'm like, well, being in a band with Dave Ellefson wouldn't suck.
No. Well,
That would be amazing. And then soon after that, Jeff Plate said, well, if you do this, I'm in, I'll come back. And I'm like, okay, I didn't even want to, didn't even try. I've got a brand new lineup if I want to do this. And I went, I can't say no to that. So I just started writing some songs, and turns out I had known Brian before. He's from Portland, and we had done some shows with his band. He had a Judas Priest tribute band that we did a bunch of shows with, so years ago. And he was he was heavily influenced by David Wayne. It was one of his favorite singers, hence his sound. So at that point, I started writing some songs and putting it together, and like, okay, let's see what happens. I'm not really holding out a lot of hope at this point, because I've been in and out of it and blah 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 blah. And then unfortunately Jeff had to back out because of the Sabotage reunion started to really blow up. And which is great. We're really happy for him. So, and all those guys, I love those guys, and that's great. And then but within a couple of days, I'm in touch with Ken Mary, and he's an old Seattle refugee like myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I go, yeah, well, Jeff just left. I'm kind of toying with putting this Metal Church. Well, I'll do it. And he was in. And I'm like, God, I can't even try to not do this. So
being in a band with Ken wouldn't suck either. So
yes, he is just a monster. And everybody in the band is just really good guys. We just all get along great. We're all, all professionals and veterans. We're all old, but I'll say veterans. But so it just kept working. So here we are.
How are the other guys going to get the time? Like Ken especially. Like, one thing I am like super excited about is Flotsam are coming down here in a couple of months.
Yep.
Oh, which I'm very, very excited about. So how like, for example, how is he going to get the time to do much with you?
Well, Flotsam, they don't work quite as much as quite that often, and we've scheduled around everybody else's other project schedule. So we're matter of fact in the process of setting up another trip down there for right after the first of the year for Metal Church. So yeah, we're trying to hook it up with a trip to Japan like we did last time. We had something set up, but things just didn't quite happen. So that's still being worked on. We've got new booking agents and things like that. So we're coming back coming back shortly after the turn of the new year. So we'll be
Yeah.
coming
Okay.
back. And you're still in Adelaide, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Rock
yeah.
and roll.
So yeah.
That place you played at is shut down. They're redoing the whole fucking building. There was
Oh,
a
really?
whole
Yeah.
thing in the city about that. Yeah, but we have other places. Who was Ken drumming on the album?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
happened. That thing with Jeff happened before the album
Happened
was
before
recorded.
that. We started with Jeff, but then the Sabotage thing just started taking off. And he goes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to have time to really fully do this. So, which
No.
is perfectly fine. So,
Yeah. Oh, if you want to send Sabotage down here as well, that's fine.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We can do
Sabotage, we love
that.
them. Yeah, they're great. They're going to be doing a lot of work this year. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Good. Good.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's
So
basically in a nutshell what happened.
yeah.
I
Okay.
I didn't plan on it, so it kind of happened. The band that wouldn't die, you know.
Right. Tell us about the album.
It's great, and everybody should buy it. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I guess having Brian with his legacy sound kind of directed it, kind of just subconsciously, thinking in terms
Yeah.
of okay, this is what Metal Church used to the old direction. Kind of there's a little bit of thrashy elements, but there's a little bit of, the classic stuff. So yeah, that was kind of, I mean, I didn't want to think about it too much. I don't like having it too premeditated. I like it to be a little bit organic. So that was kind of that was pretty much it. I just started writing heavy metal songs, and with Brian's voice in mind.
Mm.
And that was that. It wasn't any big, huge thing. It wasn't any kind of thought out, planned out, recipe or anything. It was just, wow, here we go. Let's see what happens. And I just started writing songs.
Mm. Okay. How long did it take? Did you all get together? Is it remotely?
Well,
Did
no,
you
I no,
rock
I
on down to
wrote.
Phoenix?
Yeah, no, we. I wrote I demoed everything,
Right.
and then Brian came down and we, scratched in the vocals, and then I just sent everybody their tracks, and then
Yeah.
Dave came over here, and we did the bass here. Well, Ken did the drums at his studio. He's got a really nice studio, and
Mm.
he's a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
engineer as well. So he did the drums there, and then Dave came over and it took here, and we did the bass, and then we did Brian came down and we tracked the vocals, and then Rick came down. So we did all of it here except drums.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it took, oh, well, again, we would record a little bit and then be some time off with people's schedules, and then, that kind of thing. So it took over the course of about 3 months,
Yeah. Okay.
spread out. But I mean, if we wanted to, but that wasn't always just studio time. That was a week here, 10 days here, a couple days here. So put it all together,
Mhm.
that was pretty much how it was done. So.
Hmm. You played a gig the other week, your first gig in quite a while. How did that go?
That went amazing. I mean, it really did. Other than that's when I really realized, okay, I gotta go. That's like I gotta go back to Phoenix to this doctor because it's been a long time. It's been a long time. So like the first 4 or 5 songs, I was fine. After about 4 or 5 songs, it started in again. I was like, oh, fuck. All
Yeah.
right. So that's when I like, okay, we got back from Mexico, and I'm like, hey, doc, I'll be right over, so and after one treatment, I'm doing a lot better. No, but the show went great. It went absolutely amazing. I mean, we didn't play perfectly because it was our first show, but it was, to get right out of the box to headline a festival, you know,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like, okay, this will work. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun after not being on stage for a couple of years to be out playing again.
Yeah.
And especially kind of watching, like watching Brian and okay, wondering how he's gonna, is he gonna front the band? You always wonder. He always had a
Yeah.
great reputation. I'd never heard Vicious Rumors before, so I didn't know. And so, but he did it, man. He was selling it, and he was fronting the band, and I was like, okay, well, there we go. Looks like we got ourselves a rock and roll band, to quote Ted Nugent. Yeah.
How how'd you go fitting new stuff into the set list, and what sort of set list was it?
Well, focusing mainly on the classics. You
Mm.
know, the David Wayne, mostly David Wayne, first two albums, good chunk of Mike House stuff, and then two songs from the new album. We only had an hour, so
Yeah,
we had to
yeah,
kind
okay,
of be
yeah,
big, but we're adding more songs for our headline set. So
yeah,
we're
yeah, okay,
adding more stuff, early stuff, and maybe one more from the new album. You
yeah,
know, the new
yeah.
album's getting such a great response, which is great, but people
Mm.
still want to hear the old stuff. You know, you can't get away from it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm the
no
same way
matter
with
what
bands.
band you were in from back in the 80s, you're not going to get away from that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Because most of the fact that you're still here is you've got a lot of those people still riding that train.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, I
Yeah,
confess I'm one of them too. But I will tell you, when you played Adelaide, like I've got a set list. I think you even gave it to me off stage.
uh,
But if you'd come up to me before the gig and said, "All right, Mel, write us out a set list," it wouldn't have been much different from what you played.
yeah. Well, that's great. Good. That's kind of what we want to do. I mean, it's because, like I said, I'm the same way with old bands that I still like. If I go see them, hey, their new album may be great, but
Hmm.
I still want to hear,
Yeah,
the old stuff, and
music's
that's
music's
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
music's a time capsule. You hear those old songs, you remember what you were doing, the car you were driving, the girl
The
you were
beer you were
dating,
drinking,
whatever,
the beer
and
you were drinking. Yeah.
you're young again. You can get out of that wheelchair and you can get up and do it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No, and that's what's great. And the fact that I think our generation growing up, like if you were over 30, you were done. But that's completely out the window now. I mean, we the Stones and all these people are doing it still. If you can do it legitimately, keep going because the
Mm,
audience is getting older too.
mm,
It was just a new thing. No rock bands hadn't been around that long. So,
yeah.
it's a really cool time to be a musician in a lot of ways. There's some downsides, but being able to be in a band after all these years and still have people show up and the fact that we get to play all over the world still, I
Mm,
mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's not lost on me at all. So,
yeah. With the changes in the music industry over time, which you would have seen, I've seen from not even being a musician, what do you reckon has been the best thing?
the best thing that's happened is the fact that it's gone independent, where independent labels, just like independent artists, it's mirrored by independent labels, where the fact that the major labels, the big huge companies, as far as rock and roll and metal and anything that isn't serious pop stuff, is pretty much gone. So that's great. So it's more direct artists to fans. There's no, oh, these guys are old, they're done next. None of
Mm.
that corporate stuff anymore, which is great. Um, Vinyl's getting popular again, so that's good. The downside is there is, and because there's no big money in it, that's why the major labels are gone. Nobody really sells a lot of records. You put out a record,
Yeah.
sell enough to pay for it, and then you do that so you can go out and tour.
Mm.
So that's not bad, but it yeah, you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess if the industry hadn't changed and there wasn't downloads and Napster and streaming and blah, 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 if it was still the old formula, I don't know if bands like us, and there's a lot of us from, my age, my peers, Metallica to Flotsam and Jetta, everybody, I don't know if how would we be functioning now? Because I think that filter of the major label would probably, take us old guys and put us out to pasture.
Mm.
So the upside is that, you know, dealing with the independent label, if they know what they're doing, you get to still do this. You get to
Mm.
make records, you make enough money to make the record, you still get to go out and play, make a couple of bucks if you're lucky, and you still get to be an artist. So
Mm.
that's good. Where I honestly think that if the business model would have stayed without the digital, the streaming and everything, and all the major labels would have stayed, we would have had to been independent, but I think we would have been buried.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think I could be wrong, but I just the way I look at it, because I thought the music industry was over, in the early 2000s when the whole
Mm.
Napster thing started. I thought it was
Mm.
done. I was like, oh, but it didn't. We figured out a way to get around it.
Mm.
Thing is, you don't sell nearly, you don't make anywhere near the amount of money
No, no.
that you used to. But but you get to stay in the game legitimately. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a balancing act.
I read an interview with some metal guitarist. I can't remember who it was, but he mentioned, get out on tour, and with the money that you don't make from the album sales, you have to get out on tour to make some money. And he said he
Yeah,
felt like a t-shirt salesman.
yeah,
You
yeah,
ever felt
yeah,
like that?
almost, yeah. Yeah, well, there's a lot to it. Merch is a big part of it now, and
Mm,
the whole VIP thing where, you charge, we're doing the VIP thing for the first time. I was never comfortable with that, but just as long as the people get something for their money, where they do get to come to sound check, hang out, take pictures with us and meet us and hang out, and spend some time with the band without a whole crowd after a show, that's cool. I mean, I'd spend money to go do that with Rush or AC/DC or something, So I guess it's all right. I was always had a little bit of trouble with it, but we still come out after the show and, do the meet and greet at the merch booth. So we still do that for free. But then if people want to come in and do that. So, but there's also the merchandise VIP thing. That's how you make gas money now.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
especially at our level, I mean, there's other bands, obviously big bands like the Big Four and stuff like that. They're playing bigger places. So the money they make from that kind of playing a venue like that is considerably more than what we make. So, but I'm
Mm,
not complaining. The fact that we get to do it at all is great. So,
mm. I don't know if you guys do it or not, but we went to see a band once, and this band did what I'm about to tell you, and it made the difference between us actually buying the CD at the merch booth um
right.
or not. Yeah. And that was the CD was autographed,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
If it was just a pile of CDs, I haven't got much money, we'll get it, at the
Yeah.
shops or whatever, and then probably forget.
Yep.
Uh,
Get distracted by something else. Yeah.
it was autographed by the whole band. Oh, okay, grab that now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe if you're not doing that, not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
well, we're doing well. What we do if we have CDs and posters and stuff like that, they can get it signed. If they buy it, we'll sign it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're one of the different ones that actually come out and sort of hang around. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We definitely want to do that because it's kind of fan appreciation. Again, I mean, I think it's extremely important. Especially for a band that's been around as long as we have. In however different various variations. It's still great to go out there and just be appreciative of that.
Mm,
It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of bands that just kind of take it for granted, and I really don't. None of
mm,
us do.
yeah. Well, if you come down here again, I'll shove my Fifth Angel album in Ken Mary's face again
Oh,
for you.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. Ken's a great guy, man, and a monster drummer. And he's played with everybody between him and Dave. They know everybody.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's like, hey, we should oh, I know him. I'll call him right now. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 I bet. Right. Besides Metal Church, what's the best? You've been to any gigs lately that doesn't involve you guys, and what's the best one you've
I
seen?
haven't. No, I haven't. Or have I? No, no. If I go out, there's people there. No.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can understand that. Yeah.
There is that. No, I really don't, because I don't drink and all that kind of stuff. And also where I live to go, it's a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And I kind of got to the point where, I don't want to really stand around for 5 or 6 hours, and,
Yeah.
it just, so I haven't really been to any gigs, but I am like feverishly still buying music though. So
Yeah.
especially rebuilding my vinyl collection and, checking out new stuff all the time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
The festival you played, who else played at that you of note that you might not have seen before? And you went,
Armin's,
oh,
oh, that I haven't seen before. Um,
who
I'm
else
being,
stood out at that
we
festival?
weren't, we didn't get there until Armored Saint was still playing. Armored
Oh,
Saint
okay.
played, and then there was one band, and then we went on, so we didn't get to see
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, but there was 3 nights of Yeah, 2 nights of it. Yeah, and Armored Saint played, and obviously we're going on the road with them. They're great, and
Yeah,
they're good
yeah,
friends
yeah,
of ours. Yeah, so yeah, so we're looking forward to that. But that was the only the we didn't get a chance to see anybody, you know.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, I saw a bunch of, saw the posters with, well, I know Crimson Glory and all that, but I didn't get to see them. But then there's the bands that their logos you can't read. They look like somebody threw kindling on the floor, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Don't get me
can't.
started on that shit.
Yeah, I'm
No.
not. I'm not going. No, I don't do that. I don't do that
I
shit.
mean,
So
if you put your fucking logo on a gig poster and then you got to fucking write it normally, what's the point of having a fucking logo? That's my. I sound old and
exactly,
grumpy. I'm an
exactly.
old, grumpy old
Oh
man. If
no.
you
Well, no,
can't
we're
fucking
old.
have.
We're old veterans. We know how it's supposed to be, right?
Ah,
Like kids, come on, we're going to show you one last time how you do this, you know. But it's the real dark stuff, the satanic stuff. I don't do that. I don't do pentagrams. I don't do inverted crosses. I don't do black metal, dark metal. If you can't sing, I ain't listening. It's like, nah, sorry.
look, I would listen to black metal and that, all the time. But the logos where, like, just the other week, a band like toured here, and a mate of mine at the previous gig had said, "Oh, you're going to see." I won't mention the band's name, and I'm like, "No," and
No.
I think I think I said something like, "I said what their name is." I couldn't work out the fucking logo because he showed me the gig poster, right? I don't know, grumpy old man.
What's the
Anyway,
name of your band? Yeah. It's like, no, sorry.
ah, listen to
Yeah,
us, we're
no.
terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's just not my thing. I just whatever, knock yourselves out, but I'll be over here listening to music.
What happens now for Metal Church?
Getting ready for we start touring at the end of July. We do 10 days in the Northeast to warm up before we go to Europe in August for festivals.
And when's this tour with Armored Saint? Is that the one starting soon?
November, in
Yeah,
November. And
yeah.
then we got a long weekend in September where we're doing the Louder Than Live Festival where we get to play with Iron Maiden and Alice Cooper and Megadeth. And so we're doing that in September. And then we got two other shows around it in the Midwest. And then we're off until November, and we're doing 3 weeks in the basically the West with Armored Saint.
That'll be
And then
good.
we do Japan. Oh no, we do 3 shows in Japan in October. And yeah, and then November is Armored Saint, and then we're off, and then we're trying to do something for Australia right after the first of the year.
Awesome. Mm. Going out with Armored Saint would be good.
Oh yeah, we've done it before. It's great. Those guys are great, and it's a good
Mm.
bill. We're old school metal, but we're just different enough to be an interesting bill, and we flip flop headlining and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to work. I was fortunate enough to see Armored Saint many years ago in the US with they played with Saxon.
all right, cool, yeah, cool.
Saxon, Armored Saint, and Heretic were first on the bill. That was Mike Howe's band, but it was before Mike Howe joined them. So
Oh wow, okay, cool, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Wow,
long
that's
time ago.
historic. Yeah.
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 I remember Sonny.
it's,
Uh,
it's
um,
too funny. It's too real. Oh, it's great.
it is.
But hey, we got to be there, man. We got to be there. I wouldn't
Yeah,
want to be.
we got to see all the cool bands.
Well, that's right. I got a little matchbox that says that. I may be old, but I got to see
Yeah,
all the cool bands. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
What, like, if you're just chatting to someone who's younger, and what is the band that you mentioned that you saw that they go, oh fuck? Got any
who that
stories
I
like that? Yeah.
that I saw when I was growing up?
Mm, yeah.
Oh gosh. I just look back at like high school. I grew up in Aberdeen, which is about 2 hours from Seattle. So it seemed like every weekend we were driving, on Friday or Saturday nights, we were driving up to Seattle to go see shows. And there was a couple of moments that just blew my mind. One was going to see Kiss when Rush opened on the Fly By Night tour. That was just like, one of those life changing moments. Another life changing moment was Kansas opening for Queen. These are in
Yeah, right.
theaters, and we didn't know who Kansas was. They walked out, a bunch of fat hippies in overalls, and we're like,
Mm.
oh, it's going to be the Blues. It's going to be the Allman Brothers. And then they bust into Song for America. And it was one of those moments where I'll never forget this. They said, thank you, good night. House lights came up, and there was this dead silence in the whole theater. And we're all like, what the fuck was that? And then the
Yeah.
place blew up, because we didn't know who they were. And that was the model back then, which was great about concerts. It's like, who's opening? We don't know. Let's go. You get turned on to somebody new
Mm.
at the concert from the opening acts, and that was
Mm.
great. So those two shows stick with me and will till I die as just moments of just wow. I mean, that's kind of determined what I was going to do for the rest of my life, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
more recently, I guess the only like new band that comes to mind, I'm sure there's probably others, is Porcupine Tree.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They came out and I was like, what is this? Somebody came up with something new. And it's hard to do now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still keep it rock and roll.
Yeah.
I don't want to change just to change. It's like, well, why don't you try to invent? I don't want to reinvent anything. I like just what it was. I don't
Yeah.
want to change it. Why don't you
Yeah.
reinvent it? No, no, I don't. That's not. No, it's not my gig. Go find somebody else who wants to change it. I don't want to change it. I like the way it is. Grumpy old man. Yeah, yeah. We win. Yeah.
Old man screams at the sky.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's right. I can see the old rest home thing. Where's my AC/DC records? Yeah, it's like,
Well, yeah, it's going to get like that, isn't it? The
oh
memes
yeah,
you see with the rest homes in 20 or 30 years,
yeah,
it is going to be like that.
yeah. It'd be
Are
awesome.
we going to have heavy metal rest homes?
We probably have them now. We're just not there yet. Yeah. I guess so. Well, if any of the heavy metal fans live that long, as long as they didn't quite stay living the lifestyle, which unfortunately happens a lot. The guys that didn't quit living that way, you
Yeah.
know. Right? Yeah.
Mate, just about at the end of my Zoom thing. I've got a Zoom thing flashing. Upgrade
Uh-oh.
now. Upgrade now.
Upgrade now. No. No. You leave me alone. Damn kids. Yeah.
Kids today. I say that so often. So often.
Mm.
Kids today.
I know. It's
even
awesome.
50-year-olds.
It's even right? Right? Oh my God. How old is he? 50. Kid. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Right on.
Mate, do us a favor, please. You know the deal. Horns up in the camera. Good man.
Cool.
Yeah. How are your hands, by the way?
Hands are fine. Hands are fine. It's just my back. Hands are fine. I can play great. I just can't walk. No. No, it's great. It's hands are fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. Things are getting better. I'm getting some good treatment finally. And yeah, so onward and upward. I'm pretty encouraged. So,
right. Excellent.
Yep. Because I want to enjoy this.
What's that?
I want to enjoy this.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, damn right. Right, mate. Thanks for having a chat, mate.
I'm glad we got to do it.
Absolutely. Anytime, you know where I am. You know how to get in touch. We'll do it.
I'll keep you posted on the Australia trip when we get that finalized.
Yes. Good luck with all the gigs, mate. Say good day to all the other guys. The guys that know everyone in the band. And take care of yourself. And
absolutely.
See you again soon.
You take care. Have a good one, man. Don't work too hard at work.
See you, mate.